Greetings and namaste. This is Dave's Eye, episode 24 from March 13th, 2016. What is it that determines the difference between a good person and a terrible person? Is a good person someone who is able to dunk a basketball? Or someone who can throw or catch a football? Or sing a pretty song? Or play a musical instrument? Or someone who can draw pretty lifelike pictures? Is a good person someone who has a particular shade of light skin or dark skin? Someone whose family history comes from the same region of the earth as you? Is a good person someone who belongs to your political party? Someone who likes the same candidate as you? Someone with the same opinions as you? Someone with the same religion as you? Someone who likes the same sports teams as you. Someone who likes the same style of music as you. Or is a good person someone who happens to have a lot of money? Are any of these reasonable means to determine the difference between a good person and a terrible person? Of course not. Because none of these things have anything to do with it. What determines the goodness of a person has nothing to do with anything, because it is one's capacity for compassion and empathy that determine their relative goodness. It is their ability and their capacity to care for others, service to self versus service to others. Compassionate and empathetic people exist in all races, political parties, regions, and cheering for different teams in different sports venues across the world. Compassion and empathy is what separates a good person from a terrible person, because someone with compassion and empathy is incapable of doing terrible things to other people. Their conscience simply will not permit it. While someone without compassion and empathy can easily justify any terrible thing, no amount of damage done to others will override their myopic drive toward pursuing their own perceived self-interests at any cost. If a few more dollars can be made at the expense of the lives of others, there's zero reason not to pursue those dollars in the mind of someone without compassion and empathy. Most people don't realize that humanity is itself disposed toward compassion and empathy. In fact, it is our capacity for that love and caring that makes us human. We don't seem to act like it in the aggregate, however. You might be disposed to believe that human nature is negative to look at the world today. But we are also programmable, the product of the environment which we've developed, and we often fall prey to the influence of non-physical entities. These can be referred to as jinn, archons, or demons. And while they're not physical, they're definitely real. These are the reasons humanity has seemed to be spiraling out of control. It is these entities which lack our humanity, our inherent goodness, which sadly control the actions of more people than most people realize. Recently, I spoke to one such demon, and when I did so, I mentioned to that demon that I possess an iron ring. Anyone who understands demons knows there's nothing that frightens them more than an iron ring. Transferring their energy into an iron ring basically ends their existence. They look upon it as murder, and it scares them to the core. So this person panicked and called the police. And then the police rushed to the scene, and considering they were responding to a panicked phone call, initially believed I had committed a crime. I was certainly treated as though I was suspected of committing a crime. And I suppose if a considerably less than half-hearted attempt at exorcism was a crime, I would have been guilty. But the fact is, there's no law against exorcism, half-hearted or otherwise. There's actually not one law on the books to protect the rights of demons. In fact, most people who understand the reality of these entities look upon exorcism as a public service. So, upon finding that I had committed no crime whatsoever, the police sent me along my way. But it's cute that this demon thinks the police will save it from me. This particular demon is extraordinarily good at manipulating people and pretending. But this demon has no right to exist at all on this plane. Humanity was given dominion over this earth by our Creator, not demons. And demons have forever since been jealous of us. They hate humanity. They have no compassion or empathy because they despise humanity to the core. Because we have a spark of divinity and they do not. We have creativity where they can only practice mimicry. We are gods and they are pretenders. And now that our world is evolving and more people are realizing this, they are panicking in greater numbers every day. As the frequency of our vibrations and our consciousness increase, and we become more empathetic and compassionate in response, their existence is just becoming more apparent. They're becoming less able to blend in, less able to pretend to be human. Maybe what we need is an army of exorcists with 1 million iron rings to rid our world of their influence once and for all. This is our world, not theirs. We can take it back, but we first must understand the nature of the problems in order to be able to see the solutions. The nature of the problem is not humanity. It's the entities in opposition to humanity. Humanity is what will save us. Humanity is why we will endure. Humanity is goodness, compassion, and empathy. Humanity is love, divine, pure, and beautiful beyond measure. Our world can be that way too, should we create it thus. And that is exactly what we must do. Thus spoke Dave Zai. Namaste.